Well, good evening, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Sequoia Training. Tonight is going to be very, very exciting. I still remember a few years ago when the government pushed out this thing called PPP. A lot of people missed it. No matter how we talked about this, a lot of people just did not understand it, did not believe in it. And when PPP was gone, still a lot of people asking me, is that for real or not? I say, well, the show is gone. The boat is already took off. You have to wait for the next round. So next round came is the ERC. And as a matter of fact, ERC is still running around right now. And quite frankly, still, a lot of people still do not believe in ERC, do not believe that, hey, things like this even exist out there. So there's another new program just launched. It's called the SETC, Self-Employed Tax Credit. Now, this is definitely a game changer. A lot of these people out there, a lot of business, we are on the commercial lending side of it. And day in and day out, we have clients come to us, keep asking us, hey, Alan, when is the PPP coming back? When is the ERC coming back? I already got a round. Can I get a second round? So on and so forth. Here is the opportunity. So today we invited our partner, Tony, John, and Justin from John and Associate. They have been in the PPP and ERC platform for a long time. They funded over $1 billion of funding to our business owners across the country, and now they are doing ERTC. SETC. So now we have the honors to partner up with them. They will be here to talk to us in detail what this SETC is all about, how we can utilize this program to help our business people. Now, remember one thing, guys, during the PPP, we knew PPP is going to be out. It's not going to be there forever. But however, through PPP, for those of us who actually utilize the PPP as a door opener, we got into the business. We're able to talk to the CEO. We're able to talk to the decision maker of the business. And when they got the PPP from us, and guess what? They keep coming back to us for more and more and more funding. And that's what I see with SETC right now. So how long SETC is going to last, we don't know, but we know for sure it's not going to be there forever. But this is opportunity for us to utilize this program, utilize this tool to build your business, for you to get in front of the decision maker of their business. So without further ado, I'm going to turn the floor to Tony and his team. Tony, the floor is yours.
All right, Alan, thanks so much for having us. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, absolutely.
Wonderful. I'm going to go ahead and set up to share my screen. If you can enable screen sharing for me, I'll go through just a quick overview of what the Self-Employment Tax Credit Program, SETC, we call it SETC for short, I guess. Kind of keeps it easy, but can you guys see my screen okay?
Yes.
Awesome. Well, I'll just go through a quick slideshow, give you some of the basics about the program. And then we do have two of our CPAs, Mr. John Benjamin and Mr. Justin Jorns, who are on with us, and we'll kind of open it up for some Q&A for the CPAs to discuss this program. But to give you the basics of it, the Self-Employed Tax Credit Program is geared for individuals that paid self-employment tax in 2020 and or in 2021. And paid sick leave is kind of, something that's been around a long time. I think Family Medical Leave Act in '93 kind of created paid sick leave. The American Rescue Plan in 21 kind of tailored the sick leave program for self-employed individuals who missed their regular business work due to COVID, potentially, restrictions, potentially quarantine, symptoms, whatever it might have been, that prevented them from doing their basic self-employed day-to-day activities. This is what's called a fully refundable tax credit. So what that means, I think when a lot of people hear tax credit, they think, oh, I'll get a discount on my taxes that are due, which a lot of tax credits, that's exactly how they work. Fully refundable tax credits mean you actually get a check from the United States Treasury for the amount you qualify for, which is better than just a regular tax credit. Anytime you get a check from the government, I think that's better than us having to send checks to the government, which is how it usually works for folks. But this is a pretty substantial credit. There's up to $32,220 available for self-employed individuals, and these checks are mailed from the Treasury. Right now, they're paying out, probably they're saying 4 to 5 months. It could be quicker. Unfortunately, it's up to the IRS. The IRS sends them when they send them. But how this works, there's really a few different calculations. There's personal sick leave, which is worth up to $511 per day for up to 10 days due to COVID-related issues. So if I had COVID, if I had symptoms, if I was near people that had COVID and my city or county made me quarantine, up to 10 days, I can get up to 511 per day. So up to $5,000. Now it's going to be based on what your earnings were. To max that out, to get the maximum 511 per day, you'd have to make $132,860 in income for the year as self-employed. Now, let's say you didn't make that much. Maybe you made, 25,000, whatever. You might make about $100 a day, which is still 10 days, $100 a day is $1,000. Maybe you don't get $5,000, but you get 1,000. So it's based on your daily income. The IRS basically says, take your income, divide it by 260, and that's your daily income. 260 days a year. You work 5 days a week, 52 weeks a year. That's 260 days. So we figure out what your daily income is. We figure out how many days you were quarantined, how many days you weren't able to work due to COVID-related issues, and you can get that money up to 10 days in both years, 2020, and then again in 2021. A lot of people, I had a friend who had COVID like 7 times, and this is basically, you just have to give us the days you were sick. You don't have to show a positive COVID test or anything like that. Just what days were you out in both years, if you had 2 years that you were out. Then the next calculation, you have the family credit. And there's two kind of calculations there. Did you take care of someone? And if you did, who had COVID while you were healthy, you can get up to $200 per day for up to 10 days there. So if I took care of grandma, if I took care of my spouse, it could be anyone that you would be expected to take care of. If some stranger got sick and you wouldn't be expected to take care of them, you won't be able to claim the caretaker leave. But if your cousin lives with you and got sick and you took care of them, you can claim taking care of your cousin because they're at your house and you would have been expected to help them out, take care of them. And then for the big credit really is if you had children whose school or daycare was closed due to COVID, you can get up to $200 a day for up to 50 days in 2020 and up to $200 a day for up to 60 days in 2021. This time frame pretty much runs from April 1st of 2020 all the way through September 30th of 2021. The scope of engagement is pretty simple for clients. They complete a basic client questionnaire. There's a few questions. It'll give us an idea of, hey, should they file for this? Is there a possibility they qualify? There's no upfront money, no upfront deposit. We only get paid if the client qualifies. If they don't qualify, there's no charge. We just did some work for free for them and told them, hey, we don't think you qualify. That's okay. They're going to need to provide us with their tax returns, 2019, 2020, 2021 tax returns. That's the main data we're going to need. We're also going to need to know from their questionnaire, which days they were out in 2020 and or in 2021, which days they took care of somebody who was sick in 20 and 21. The one area where we would want documentation, if they had children whose school was closed or daycare was closed, if you can get a letter from the school or the daycare telling us what days the school or daycare was closed, that's great. Some people go, well, they sent me that letter like 3 years ago. I don't have it. That's okay. You can call them, have them send you an email or something on their school letterhead or the daycare's letterhead. The IRS would accept that for sure. We'll calculate the credit. A CPA will amend the tax returns on behalf of each and every client. And then we invoice, basically, we'll tell the clients, hey, you qualify for, $4,500 to do all this amending for both years. It's $500 per year. It'll be a total of $1,000 due. You can click here to pay your invoice. Once you pay the invoice, we send it to the IRS. So you don't pay us until we know, hey, you qualify. You're going to get this. We do provide audit assistance for up to 5 years at no additional charge. I always tell people getting this money is great. Keeping it forever is much better, making sure you're doing it the right way. And every one of our filings at Jorns & Associates is going to be signed by a CPA. The fee structure is pretty simple. They'll fill out the client questionnaire at the link that you'll provide. There's no risk to see if the client qualifies. We do all the work up front for free. The fees to file, it's $500 for personal sick leave filing in 2020. So if I personally quarantined in 2020, it'll cost me $500. We're amending my tax return basically to claim this credit. So, which I did, I actually claimed this credit. So they have to amend my tax return. If you called your CPA and wanted them, number one, if you could get a hold of them by the end of the year, because they're probably pretty busy right now getting businesses and clients ready for the end of the year. But if you got a hold of them, they'll charge, a CPA will charge $400 or $500 just to amend your tax return. We're not just amending your return, we're adding in that 7202 form and claiming the credit for all of these clients. We'll do the same thing in 2021. If they have personal sick leave in 2021, there's an additional $500 fee. And then for the family credit, it's $250 for each year, whether you had kids that missed daycare or school, or whether you took care of a spouse or grandma or fiance, whoever it was. There's an additional $250 charge per year for that filing as well. Again, the audit ready package is signed and filed by a CPA, and that includes the 5-year audit assistance at no additional charge. There's a lot of information you can get online about this program. The irs.gov website's a good place to go. It's not the most exhilarating reading, but if you're having trouble sleeping or something and you want to go to bed early, read through the IRS information on the self-employment tax credit program. What we can do now is really open it up for some Q&A. I do have 2 of our CPAs, Jordan Associates. As a company, we've helped over 20,000 clients at this point file for well over $10 billion in tax credits, whether that's ERC, R&D credits, whether that's the self-employment tax credit. We bring in, I know yesterday we brought in over 1,000 self-employment tax credit clients in a day. So we bring in thousands of clients sometimes in a day, which is great. If you can bring us clients, we'll do the work. If they qualify, we'll get the filings ready to go. We'll invoice them, and then we release the commissions to our agencies, which Sequoia's one of our agencies. And so we just release commissions to Sequoia, and Sequoia will pay out your commissions accordingly. And so this is one of those programs where, as Alan said, a lot of people don't know about it, and it's unfortunate. The money's already been printed. Inflation's pretty high because the United States government's printed a lot of this COVID relief money. It's already sitting in the Treasury's account. And if you have self-employed individuals, one, you yourself, if you paid self-employment tax, you could qualify. If you had a Schedule C, 1099 income, if you had a Schedule K from an LLC that was a pass-through entity, you probably paid self-employment tax. You may be eligible. We want folks that made $15,000 or more. That's pretty much kind of the threshold that might make it worthwhile to do this filing. If somebody made $50, that's not gonna do much good. It'll cost them more to amend their tax return than to claim the credit. If they didn't make any income, there were years where I owned a business, I was self-employed, but I took losses, right? Like I wrote off a bunch of business expenses, I reinvested into my company, and I didn't have any income. Well, that means I didn't pay any self-employment tax. And this credit is against your self-employment tax. And so most people don't know about this program. Most people that will qualify, the money is sitting in the Treasury's account. If they don't go get it, the United States government's not going to go knocking on their door. It's not going to tell you, hey, don't forget about the $32,220 sitting in the Treasury. That's your money. They will not do that. So you have to go out and educate the people, have them watch. There's a 5-minute video on your link that Alan will share with each and every one of you. And that link that he gives you, it's got a 5-minute video that anybody can watch it, learn about the program, answer a couple questions, and come into our system. Sign the engagement agreement. We'll see if they qualify from there. So we'll open it up. Alan, I don't know if you have anything you want to add before we do question and answer, but I've got John Benjamin and Justin Jorns both with us who can certainly answer about any questions that folks would have about the program.
Yes. Well, let me jump in, guys. So the SEC scenario form is already up and running in your back office. So let me share with you. So here, hold on a second. Let me share that with you. If you don't know what I'm talking about. And if you are a guest tonight, make sure that you sign up if you want to help us to promote this. But anyway, so if you are a Sequoia agent, you will every single one of us will have a scenario, have your own website looks like this. Okay, so you go to your product page, and it's right here, SEC. It's already up and running. You click on here. We have a little description to show what SEC it's all about. All you have to do is to click on apply. Now, remember, this is your website. Okay, this is your website. When you send this website to your client and anyone that fill out this website through fill out the information through your website, you capture that client. So all they have to do is just to enter some basic information right here, and I'm going to just do some um, right here. And at this time, and once you hit submit, you will go into our white labeled website
Wow.
for SEC. So right here, you can watch the video right here. And if you want to find out what this thing is exactly all about, you come down to the frequent asked questions. Okay, so here give you a lot more detail about what this thing is all about. And now the client, all they have to do is just to answer a few questions. Once they submit these questions, hit submit, then John and his team will receive the information, and now they will take this and run. So you, as the loan consultant for Sequoia, you do not have to explain to your client what this thing is all about. You are not a CPA. I don't want anybody to even attempt to explain to you how do you amend the tax return. None of those things. So leave this to the expert. Leave it this to Tony. Leave it to John. Leave it to Justin. They are the expert. They are here to help us out. Now, I'm sure many of you is going to ask, how is the commission paid out? So remember that they are charging $500 per year, $250 for the family credit. So if the maximum anybody will get charged is $1,500, depending on how many years that they need the service for. So again, maximum is $1,500 that Tony's company is going to charge them. We, Sequoia, we get 40% of that. That is very, very generous. So 40% of the $1,500. So when we get that $600, okay, $1,500, 40% of it, when we get the $600, you will get paid based on the Sequoia Comp Plan 6.0. If you don't know what Comp Plan 6.0 is, go to your YouTube channel, watch that. Now we do pay 6 different levels. So ladies and gentlemen, don't just do this thing by yourself. It's time for you to really build up a commercial lending business. So imagine all these people that you bring into your team, when they finish all these SEC, they can go back to the same business owner to get funding for their future fundings. So this is a door opener, ladies and gentlemen, and I hope that you can see the power of this. And I kid you not, we have people right here already been through the PPP, make so much money out of PPP, and now this is the second round. You missed it, the PPP. This is your second opportunity. Now, what do we even have a next opportunity? We don't know. So don't even ask for it. This is the time. This is the time for us to build this business. This is the time for us to actually go out there to make your client, to have your client to understand that what kind of business that you are in. Okay. So John and Justin, feel free to jump in.
Well, I just want to let you know, my CPA practice, we do over 2,000 returns. And honestly, CPAs don't know a lot about the credits. And this didn't really come to my attention for about 3 or 4 months ago. And so most CPAs are going to be like, well, I don't know about the credits from way back when. And then once we got this streamlined with Justin and Tony came to us, we were able to take all these credits and streamline the process to make it very easy to do, because it's going to be very difficult right now, like Tony said, to go to your CPA and say, hey, would you please stop what you're doing and go back and look at our tax returns for 20 and 21 and amend our returns, and can you do it, within the next 10 days? You're not going to get that. And I promise you, they'll charge premiums. So Tony's idea was, is to streamline this so you can submit your information. It can be downloaded. We can get it out to you within 10 days, if not sooner, because we have all the systems in place. I'm still running my CPA practice, but we have all the systems now. We can streamline this. And that's what's so nice about this. Like Tony said, this credit, nobody's using it. And that's why I believe in it, because this is money from the U.S. government that comes to us, to the self-employed people. Self-employed people get really whacked on taxes. So
Yeah.
this is some way to get your money back. You're being taxed at 15% self-employment tax plus your original or individual tax rate. So it's basically between 25 to 30% you're being taxed. You get some of this money back and you don't have to pick it up as income when you receive it. So we can streamline this now, and thanks to Tony and everybody to get this in place, so you can get this in and we can get these out the door really quickly.
Thanks, John. Appreciate it. And we'll open it up to some questions. I know some people have
Yeah.
chatted. Someone, Justin, was asking about, hey, do they have to make income? Where can they go, Justin, and check? Did they have income for 2019, 2020, or 2021?
Yeah, so you'll have a Schedule SE on your tax return that shows all your self-employment income. You can look at your Schedule C, your net profit on there to see if it's a positive number. You want that to be at least $15,000. But we like to look at Schedule SE because self-employment income can come from other places than just Schedule C. It can come from Schedule F if you're a farmer, or like you said earlier, if you receive a K-1 from a partnership, you can get self-employment tax on that too. So all of those items end up on Schedule SE. And so that's really the key or trigger to look at to see if you can actually qualify. And it needs to be a positive number.
Great. That's great information. Fran asks, and John, you can probably answer this one. Do we need to submit documents to show that we were sick for 10 days?
No, you need to, for people that didn't have COVID and you may not have a notice, you just have to say that you had COVID. You may have emailed people, hey, I can't work, I have COVID. All right. Or you can go back to your Walgreens and say, hey, I tested positive for COVID, I took a test. The IRS really, they limited this credit. So most people did have COVID, but you don't have to submit documents. You do need to have something from the school, though, the IRS saying that, hey, your school was closed. And that's probably the most important thing.
Good deal. Justin, someone's asking, does this work for sole proprietors, artists, performers as well?
Yeah, they didn't cut out the artist on this credit, so that's a good thing.
It's good.
Yeah,
It's good.
anyone that files a sole proprietor that they file a Schedule C, that they would qualify as long as they're showing net income and paying self-employment tax.
And then I can answer this one. Callie's asking about advertising, get ads to run. We do mainly word of mouth. Alan can get with you on the marketing side. We don't advertise Jorns, like the Jorns name never gets advertised. We don't allow it. We're an accounting firm. Think like Ernst & Young. We're not a marketing firm, so we don't want a bunch of people blasting our name on Facebook ads or anything like that. But we do have folks that do generic ads, that'll ask, hey, have you taken advantage of the self-employment tax credit up to $32,220? You run the ad, somebody responds to it, then you can send them the Jorns info. Once you build the lead and generate the lead, we don't care what you do. So Alan will be somebody that could probably do a different webinar on the marketing side.
Yes, the flyer, it's actually already up. Okay, we
Perfect.
have two versions of flyers. We have an English version, we have a Chinese version, and the Latino version, the Spanish version, it should be coming up on Friday. So go to your back office. You log into your back office, you will see a tab called Marketing. Click on Marketing. That's where you see all the flyers, not just for SETC, but also for all of our products. So always go back to your marketing. Okay. And also
Perfect.
we posted onto our Facebook group. We emailed it to everybody. So if you are a member of Sequoia, you should already gotten it. If you don't, send an email to marketing@seclending.com. Okay. Yep. Go ahead.
Someone else is asking, what's the name of the firm? I'll let Justin answer that one.
The firm that's filing?
Well, our firm, the accounting firm.
The Jorns and Associates?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
you didn't have to look. Do you have to look at your name tag to remember? So Justin and I started the company together. We went to kindergarten together. So Justin's been my CPA for about 15 years, and so we go back quite a ways. And so we started the company really to educate business owners about these tax credits because as Alan talked about, like people are not taking advantage of these, and it's
Yeah,
unfortunate.
I mean, we initially started out helping people file for forgiveness for even PPP loans that didn't know
Yeah,
how to do it. I mean,
yeah.
this is back in the day of PPP, so we're helping educate and helping business owners through that process, and then we went on to the ERC, and now here's John's bringing back SETC, so that's great.
That's right.
You
Bringing
suck.
Sutsy back. And John, someone else is asking, Fran's asking about a college age kid if their college was closed or
No,
that.
it's 18 and under.
So it's got to be 18 and under.
Yeah.
So can't be college age. Uh, let's see here. How soon can George respond to an application, John?
Boy, once we get it and we get everything filed, we've got right when we get it, we can respond right away. We have 30 to 40 people that we have ready to, have been trained and updated, so we can get things out within a week to 10 days at the latest. It just depends if we
Yeah.
got all the right information. So
Yeah, I've seen some go out in 24 to 48 hours, which is great, but we
Yeah.
tell people give us a week, give us 10 days max,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
we'll have those puppies out. Can Jordan's accommodate 10,000 applications in a day? I mean, right now we can't. If you sent 10,000 today, not that we couldn't accommodate it, it would probably take us 30 days to get those through filing versus 10 days.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, 10,000. We could probably get that within 2 or 3 weeks based on the training, because everybody now knows how to do it. We can blow.
Yeah, I've been cross training. I mean, we can do 1,000 a day pretty easy right now, and 2,000 wouldn't put us out. Like if all of a sudden, usually it doesn't happen out of nowhere. Like all of a sudden you go from getting 1,000 to 2,000 a day, and then the next day it's 10,000 a day. As long as it grows gradually, we'll probably still be at 7 to 10 days the whole way through. But if like today 10,000 came in, we'd be like, all right, we're going to be delayed by about a week or so. But so what? Like they're still getting their filing done. We just set the expectation. But we've got one of the largest accounting firms on planet Earth. We have over 500 on staff. We have offices, 21,000 square foot office. We own the whole building actually here in Kansas, where I'm out of. We've got 15,000 square feet in Rochester, New York. We've got about 5,000 square feet in Akron, Ohio, about 5,000 in Mississippi, maybe 7,000 now. We expanded the Mississippi office. And then John, we've got a partnership. John, your office is there in Arizona, where you've got quite a few folks.
Yeah, we have 15 employees. So.
Yeah, so we can handle it. You bring it, we'll keep up. And then if the tax filers filed joint, married, would they use the same Schedule SE?
It would depend if they could each have their own SE if they each are independent contractors. So each one, you'll see on an amended return, you're still going to file an amended joint return. So it just depends on if only one of them is self-employed or if both of them are self-employed.
Yeah, that's a good point, Justin, because if your spouse, both husband and wife, both have Schedule SEs, they could both apply for the credit individually, separately. So it's not just the one credit for both, so if both spouses are doing that, you can get the full amount for each spouse.
Correct. That's good. And Elvis, yeah, your income needs to be higher. You need to have made money. Income needs to be higher than expenses. You have to have income to pay.
I can get my debit code,
And then, is there a deadline when the credit will end? When's the deadline when we have to file these?
Well, if you filed in 20 and you didn't file, and you did not file an extension, so you filed your taxes for 2020, you had until May 15th, 2021 to file those. So if you didn't extend your taxes, we have to get these out by April 15th or May 15th of 2024. And then we really just have, and then for 21, we have until 2025. So it's basically, we need to get, whether they've extended or not, we need to get their files in, just get them out the door as quick as possible. But to answer your question, the latest time period for 21 is October 2025.
So yeah, so we've got a little bit of a runway, but there's certainly there is a deadline here. You're legally allowed to amend your tax return for whatever it is, up to 3 years from the time they were due.
Right.
And so once that statute runs out, it runs out. Someone's asking about their LLC. LLCs are pass through. So LLCs don't pay taxes. Individuals do, right? So this is
Right.
based on your self-employment tax. So this would be your personal tax return, not your LLC's tax return. If your LLC's tax is an S corp, then you don't pay self-employment tax. S corps don't pay self-employment tax.
And then if it's a single member LLC, it'd be reported on their personal tax return.
Correct. Sarah says school was closed, but students were on Zoom to study. Does that work?
Dustin, I think, yes.
Yeah, I believe so. That's what we looked that up. We researched that, and that does work. So
yeah. So if I think it's kind of common sense.
The concept is, you weren't able to go out and do your job, your self-employment job. And so your kid's at home. So basically you're having to stay home and take care of your kid and not generate income. I think that's where the concept comes from.
Someone's asking the average time to have the IRS send back the money. Is it shorter than ERC? I would say, yeah, it's shorter than ERC, but I know the IRS has delayed it a little bit.
Well, yeah, the IRS is delayed. I mean, they've stopped all e-filing for everything for a couple months just to get caught up. So the ERCs are a lot more complicated to have them calculate. These are just basic credits, and it's a one-page 7202 that's being sent in. So it's pretty easy, and so they're gonna just say, let's get these out. So right now they're saying 4 to 5 months. It could be earlier. They always say later to give them a cushion. So I'm saying somewhere 3 to 4 months if we get them in. Now, if you mail them, in the month of April, it's going to take a little longer just because they got all that mail, to be honest with you. So that's why I want to get them in now as soon as possible.
Perfect. And then would you just need complete 1040s for 2020 and 2021?
Well, it depends. They will allow you to take a look at your 2019 tax return. And if your 2019 income is greater than 20, we can use your 2019 income for 2020. So that's what we're saying, 19, 20, and 21.
So yeah, give us your full tax returns, 19, 20, 21, because our CPAs will look and go, oh, you made more money in 19. Let's use that number to make your claim. Oh, you made more money in 20. All right, we'll use the number from 20. Benji's asking, do we collect their individual tax returns? No, don't do that. I can answer that one. So we have a repository. Any client is going to have a login to a back office where they load their tax returns. We don't want people emailing us tax return information. There's social security numbers on there, stuff like that. So we have bank level encrypted software. John's got his own server farm there that they maintain any data that the IRS requires us to maintain, and we certainly don't want you guys having to collect tax documents from people. So don't do that. Will this credit be forgivable? It's not even you don't even have to ask for forgiveness. It's not income. It's
not a loan. It's not, you don't have to pay it back. So there's no forgiveness process.
They're just giving you credit for what you've paid so far. They're saying you've paid too much, you get this credit. So we're giving this tax back that you overpaid.
Yeah, free and clear. If you got, I think the average client's getting about $4,500 right now. We've got a few get 32,000. We've had some get 14, 18. A couple get 2,000. But the average is 4,500. So it's like they're literally getting 4,500 when that check comes, and they can do whatever they want to do with it. Manpreet, you have your hand raised. Did you want to ask a question verbally or?
Yeah, because I have quite a few.
Okay, go ahead. Start firing.
Okay, all right. So the first one is like when you said that we can use 2019 income also, then what's the proof are we giving there if we're using 2019 versus 2020 for the COVID days or the school closure.
COVID days are still 20 and 21. We're able to use the income from your 2019 tax return to claim the 2020 filing. So even though you were sick in 20, we can, let's say in 20 you took a loss, but in 2019 you made money, we can use the 2019 numbers to do the amendment.
Oh, I see. Now that makes sense.
Yeah, that's just the
Okay.
way the rules work. And you think about it, a lot of self-employed folks were hurt really bad by the COVID pandemic, right? So
Right.
the IRS gives you the ability, or actually the law, the legislators gave you ability to use that 2019 number, because what if you had a business that COVID really hampered? That would almost eliminate the credit for you. But if they allowed us to use your 2019 tax return to get that number, that helps us.
Okay, perfect. Because a lot of my clients will come from like either, the Uber drivers or the truck drivers and
Sure.
Yeah,
that,
that's
right?
fine. Yep.
So for that, like for example, like their work was closed, right? They weren't able to work at that time, but then they're home taking care of a kid or not. That can also qualify them, right? They don't, if the work is temporarily closed or they have less working hours and stuff like that, that will qualify them for this, right?
Well, they'd have to have COVID or quarantined.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, so that will be a part of, okay, got it.
Yeah, the law says you have to have COVID, have symptoms.
Symptoms, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it could just be symptoms. You didn't have to have a positive test or anything. Maybe or you were waiting on a test. Maybe you were at a super spreader event. If your county said, hey, if you were at this event, you need to quarantine for 10 days, and you had to quarantine for 10 days, due to COVID. Like, it's not your choice, right? Like, it was your city, your county made you do that.
Okay, perfect. And on the 15K that we were talking about, like, at least have a 15K income, is that like something that when we look at this Schedule C and then there's like, after expenses and everything, there's like a tentative profit or loss line? Is that where we're supposed to look at to see that has to be more than 15K?
Yeah, that's your main line. Tentative profit should be about 15,000. Yeah.
So that should be 15.
A
Okay.
Schedule C, I think that's line 31
Yeah.
on a Schedule C, the profit and loss line. I don't know where it is on the SE, on the Schedule SE.
It's line 3, I believe. And so, see, what happens is, so if you have 15,000 on one, some people have another Schedule C that's a loss, so they net those. That's why we go right to the Schedule C, or the Schedule SE. But we'll look at that when you get it. I mean, the big thing is you just need to upload the return, and then the people will review it. They'll review it, so we'll know right away that whether you qualify or not. So, and then we'll go from there.
Okay. Got it. And then will they do they have to pay the fee prior to like knowing how much they will be getting, or so the fee that
they
will
should
be,
know what they're getting before they pay the fee, before they pay the invoice.
Yeah.
okay, all right. And I know you showed a slide where it was showing that how much they will be charged. So if we can please get those numbers, so at least if someone asks how much you will
Yeah.
charge, we have
I'll
an
like to
idea.
get that over to you, and then it's on the video. You can pause the video at that place.
Oh, got it.
Yep.
Shot it to that
Okay.
video.
It's on the website.
Oh yeah.
It is
So
on. Okay.
Alan's got it on the site for you as well. Someone's asking, how about if you were diagnosed with RSV that affected many the same as COVID? I think it's got to be COVID, right,
It's
guys?
COVID, yeah. It's
Yeah.
specifically the IRS, yeah.
Okay. The program is live now. You can
Yes, it
start
is.
rocking and rolling.
It is live right now.
22 is no good. 20 and 21 are the 2 years we're looking at. Okay, somebody's asking if they owe money to the IRS. So if I have a client that, let's say the client owes 10 grand to the IRS and they qualify for 4,500, is the IRS going to send them a check?
It depends, but more than likely they may keep it. I can't answer that. Depends on which agent, but yeah, usually if you owe back taxes or something, they're going to keep it.
That's usually how it works.
But the good part is you're lowering your liability, though.
Yeah.
You're
You don't
satisfying the
owe 10,000.
IRS. They're showing a payment to the IRS, so
Yeah,
it'll
you
put
owe
them off your back a little
5,500
bit.
instead of 10,000.
Yeah.
For that.
So just the last thing, W-2 does not qualify, right?
Correct.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
No problem.
I
Coach
got all the
Pauly,
answers.
you got your hand raised. Do you want to ask a question?
Yeah, can you guys hear me okay?
Yep.
Okay, I asked a question about one of my operating LLCs during the pandemic. Did you guys answer that question? I might have missed it.
No, go ahead and ask.
No, I asked about my operating LLC. It's currently inactive as of right now with the Secretary of State. Does it need to be active in order to qualify for the SETC?
Yeah, it would have had you would have had to file taxes in 20 and 21 in order to qualify for the SETC. So if they didn't file it in 20 and 21, you're not gonna be able to get that.
Yeah, it'd be your personal tax return that you're
Yeah.
looking at, right? Like
Right.
LLCs don't pay taxes, so they
Right, it
pass.
flows through to the individuals. Yep.
So you got to look at your personal return. Did you have a Schedule SE in 19, 20, or 21? And if you had a Schedule SE, which means you paid self-employment tax, how much was it?
Right.
Was it above 15,000? And if that's the case, you're in play.
15,000.
Yeah, 15,000 or more. The reason I say that is because if my credit is $400 and I'm paying 500 to amend my return, I'm going to lose $100 to get the credit, right? So you don't want to file and actually get less money than it costs you to file.
Right. Yeah.
Gotcha.
So,
Okay, thank you so much. Appreciate
yeah,
it.
no problem. Elvis, you got your hand up. You want to fire away?
Yeah, I'm a little confused about let me get on my speaker. Hello? Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay, I'm a little confused about the public school closing. Is that so if it's a teacher or a staff who had to be home, that's self-employment, or do you mean if a parent had to be home watching a kid and they're required as or just a home taker or whoever is becomes self-employed, or what exactly who exactly is the person that is filing?
Justin, you want to go on that one? You know about the family credit?
Yeah, so if the school closes down and the child has to stay home, then typically the parent who's making the self-employment
Right.
income is staying home and taking care of the kid. So if the school is closed and the parent or the child has to stay home, and the parent is has it's their own business.
It has to be self-employed. The parent has to be self-employed.
Self-employed, and then that would qualify for the family credit.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. So the parent or the caretaker already has to be self-employed.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's not like they take a position of being self-employed at that moment. They already have to
No. They have to. Yeah. No. They have to be self-employed. They had that COVID and so forth, and it's not W-2 income. Just because the school shut down doesn't mean you get the credit.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, but that's affecting them being able to be self-employed. Okay, got it.
Right.
Thank you.
The client, someone said, "How does the client pay us?" We invoice them, so they pay Jorms. We invoice them. They click a link. They pay with credit card. That's or debit. That's pretty much the main way. I think we might be able to do ACH or e-check or something, but I think for right now, it's almost all credit card.
Okay, so Suying, for the next question, let me answer. You're asking if anybody can apply without being an agent of Sequoia. Now, the answer is yes. Everybody can go to our website to apply. But however, remember, if you're a Sequoia member, you have your own website. Now, if you go to just the Sequoia website and you apply for it, yes, absolutely, we will take that client, but we have no idea where that client come from, and you would not get paid. So my suggestion to you is that sign up as a Sequoia member, and you will have your own website, market your own website, and whoever that comes through your website, that is your client. That is how we can keep track of which client belongs to which agent. Okay.
Yeah. Have your people register on your link.
Yep.
So that way Alan knows who to pay.
Absolutely. Again, if we see a client that comes in through the corporate website, we're not going to pay our commission to anyone. Okay, so it has to match your website. That is why when you submit it through your own website, and you will capture it yourself in your back office. You can actually see it, and we will have a copy also. Okay.
The next question, somebody says if they have 15,000 in self-employment income, Would they be eligible for 511 times 10 days? No, they won't, Fran. What is that, like 57 bucks a day?
If
I think,
15,000,
yeah, I think that's 57 and change.
660, yeah, times 10, if you get $570, that's fine.
Yeah,
Yep.
Yeah,
maybe
but then they could also
500.
qualify for if they have a dependent, it could change things a little bit.
Yeah, they could potentially get a little bit more money on that. What,
Right,
67
they have kids, yes.
times that, so another 30 some bucks a day for another 10 days, maybe another 300 some. You're not gonna make a lot of money, but you make a few $100. I always say, if you send me $100 for Christmas in a check, you better take it out of your balance because I will cash that thing. So it's like, if the government's going to give you $300 net, right? Maybe you ended up getting $1,300, but you paid Jorns 1,000. Well, you still came out $300 ahead. Like, why not, right? Like it's $300. So 15,000 won't get you $5,000, but it'll get you 570. Do that times 2 years. There's $140 if you took care of somebody. Maybe you got another 100 total for a couple of years of taking care of people. You make $240. It's $240. So it's better than zero, I guess, which is what most people are claiming right now. Joe says, can we refer other accounting service to you for a referral fee to include tax preparation, basic bookkeeping? We don't offer some of that right now yet.
We're close.
We do,
We're close.
yeah, we're close. So we'll talk with Alan about that. If Alan wants to make it available, we'll talk about all
Yes,
that.
that is the goal for Sequoia. If you pay attention to us, we are actually slowly merging our company from a commercial lending broker into a business consulting company.
Mhm.
So that is why we bring in services like this. And yes, we will partner up very closely with Tony's firm. They have a lot more product other than this, and all these products are good for our business people, and that makes perfect sense for us to promote it also. So again, more and more this type of product will be on our platform.
Fran saying, if someone has 10,000 in SE income, no, they'd be eligible for like $38 or something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
10,000 divided by 260. So, if you're going to get 380 and we're charging 500, you don't want to claim it. It's not enough. After someone applies online, does Jordan's call them, email them? How do we know as an agent if someone's signed up under our link? Well, if they fill out the registration form, Alan will probably have that, for you guys. He'll see that.
Yes, let me jump in. Let me jump in. There are two things, right? Number one, when they fill out the form on your Sequoia website, you will receive an email. Okay, so that's the first thing. The second thing is that once they fill out the form for John, Sequoia, we have a unique portal that we can monitor. So if you want to find out the specific status for that particular client, all you have to do just to respond to the email that you receive and ask us, hey, what is the status? And our support team and processing team will respond to you with the latest status for you.
Perfect.
Okay.
So if someone signs online, as far as they'll have an email from Jorns, they'll have a login from Jorns. The email will tell them exactly what to do in their back office to get their tax documents in. And if they don't do anything for a little while, if like 2-3 days, our account managers will call them. Like, we'll email them, we'll call them, we'll text them, and we'll do everything we can to get their documents. If they don't give us their tax documents, we can't file for them, but we will do everything we can to try and get a hold of them and get their tax documents. And Fran, on the money, to just simplify it, whatever you earned for the year, you might want to take notes on this, and I'll write it down. Divide that number by 260. Because that's what the IRS says you make daily. Whatever you earn for the year as a self-employed individual, they think you work 5 days a week, 52 weeks a year.
Yep.
That's 260 days. So, if I made $130,860 and I divide that by 260, that's $511. That's the most. So if you made $1 million a day, they still say the most you can make is 511 for this credit, right? The most you're going to get credit for is $511 a day. Elon Musk, if he's self-employed, he makes a lot more than $1 million a day. But he would still cap the credit out at 511. That's the most. Now, if you make anything under $130,860, then you're going to get less than 511.
Right.
Like we did the example at 15,000, you're making probably 57 bucks a day. 15,000 divided by 260 is $57.69 or something. So, but yeah, that's what you're looking for. And then Benji says, is that SE line 3 or line 6 on the schedule SE? The income.
I think it's line 3. I'm pretty sure it's line 3. There's different numbers on there. It'll say self-employment tax, but I'm pretty sure it's line 3.
I don't have a schedule SE.
Yeah, off the top of my head. If I've looked at it, I'm pretty sure it's line 3, but
Okay.
it'll say self-employment tax. And if as long as there's a number there, you can submit the application. We'll let you know right away if you're good.
Yeah, our team they'll check that out.
Right.
Elvis says, a lot of my friends work independent contracting jobs or 1099, working for brand ambassador, talent staff, conventions, trade shows, delivery, transportation, Grubhub, Amazon, gig worker, side hustles. I'm assuming they should all fall into self-employment, correct? Yeah,
yep.
John says definitely.
Yep.
Yeah, I think Justin's OnlyFans page goes on there too. Just kidding. People pay him to stay off the internet. But yeah, that's why I brought John and Justin. I brought our sharpest looking CPAs.
Yeah, okay, the oldest ones.
We went with the good looking ones.
Yeah, we're the oldest ones.
Okay.
It looks like that's all the questions. I do have another Zoom I'm hopping on here in 6 minutes myself.
Yep.
Alan, I want to tell you, thanks so much for allowing us to share everything that we're doing at Jorns with your family over at Sequoia. And we're really excited to have you guys as a part of the Jorns family. Anything we can do to help, that's what we're here to do. Spread the word, use your Sequoia site, click on it, get the people to enter their info. Once they enter their info and come into our system, your job is done. Let these CPAs do the CPA work, and you sit back and collect the commissions on it.
Absolutely, guys. Think about the opportunity that we have right here. We estimate that over 50 million self-employed here in the United States, and majority of them are minority.
I think I lost him.
Understand this. They have never heard of something like this. It's depending on you and me to go out there to educate them, to let them know that things like this exist. Now, the Latino market, that is a huge market. The Asian market, you think about this. We are the pioneer of all these things. If you understand the power of these things, I bet you are the first one in your community, in your family, in your church, in your workplace to know about something like this. Now, what makes you different than other people is that you become the center of resources. Okay, bring these resources, bring this information to your community. I bet you a lot of people will love you and come talk to you. And that is how you build your business. Okay, you don't just go out there to do advertisement to hope somebody to call you up, but you bring something that is valuable to your community so that you are different than other people and they will come to you. And that is what SETC is all about. So John is a CPA. You are not a CPA. Line C, not line 3, line 6. I don't care. All I care is that there's a program out there that can benefit many of my people. So my job is go out there to let them know that, hey, do you want to claim the $32,000 or not? If you do, fill out this link. My CPA is going to contact you. My expert is going to contact you. So please do yourself a favor. Do not go out there to attempt to explain to them what that is. Just point them to the link, have them to watch it, have them to watch the video, and have them to fill out the link. Let them know after you fill out the link, our experts will contact you and explain to you all in detail. Okay, guys, I think our time is up. This is the first training. I'm sure that we will have the second training and third training. This is only for agents only. I'm sure that we will set up another call, not for agent, not for Sequoia agent, but for you, John and Tony and Justin is going to come up here to talk to your client. You don't have to talk to them. But again, you have to understand what this product is. Put your business mind here. Put your business man businesswoman's head on. So right now is for you to think about how you expand your business through this particular product. It's a once in a lifetime thing. So it's totally up to you how you want it. If you run it right, you build it right, 2024, it's your year. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Yep. I mean, we have like 3 more minutes and your last words. Anybody, anything, any suggestion, any comments?
Thank you.
Quick question. In the team, is anyone speak different languages like Spanish, Mandarin?
We have Spanish speakers and we do have Mandarin. We're working on the video in the different languages as well. So we'll have
You
those.
froze.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Tony, you just froze for a little bit. You're saying that you have Spanish and what else?
We have Spanish and we do have some individuals that do speak Mandarin as well. So we're working on getting all the documents in the different languages.
Fantastic. Okay, guys. Okay, great. Time's up.
Thanks,
Thank
everybody.
you so much. There's
Thank you
another
very much.
episode.
Nice to talk
Thank
to everybody.
you.
Yep.
All right. Have a nice evening.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you.
The thing is online. Go out there, start submitting deals to us, okay? Good night, everyone.
Good night. Bye.
Thank you, Alan.
Hey, thanks a lot.